Nice.
All right, I'll call the Tuesday, May 14, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman Roth?
Here.
Councilman Maldonado? Vice Mayor Burgess? Mayor Shelley?
Here. Any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
No.
No. Tab 1.
Move it.
Motion to approve the April 2019 COW minutes moved by Councilman Burgess, or Vice Mayor Burgess, seconded by Councilman Roth. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Tab 2.
The American Youth Soccer Association currently rents the 2 lighted soccer fields at the Homestead Sports Complex for the year-round soccer league that caters to children 3 to 19 years old. Due to the high usage of the fields, the current grass, which is not irrigated, cannot withstand the wear and tear. Installation of an irrigation system, the resodding of the area with Bermuda grass will greatly improve the resiliency of the fields. In addition, as part of the renovation, the existing softball dugouts, backstop fencing, clay, and current grass will be removed, and the nearby bathrooms renovated by in-house staff. Staff recommends Mayor and Council authorize the city manager to engage Brightview Landscape Services to renovate the 2 lighted soccer fields at Homestead Sports Complex for $300,532.97. City Agreement 17 PR 019 with Brightview Landscape Services allows the city to add additional service locations to the existing agreement at negotiated prices, as long as the additional cost incurred is within the established department budgets. Project is not part of the city's capital improvement plan. So ordinarily, we wouldn't bring this to you because we're not asking for an approval of the contract, but we did think it's a large enough project that you should weigh in. And of course, we know where the vice mayor stands because he's been talking to us about this for many, many years, and we appreciate his patience. But that's what we're asking for at this time, is just to make sure you're all comfortable with this.
Vice Mayor Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor. As the manager spoke, this has been something that I've been talked about for at least 5 or 6 years since my son started soccer out there. And it's really every year that unfortunately the fields have gotten a little bit worse and a little bit worse. And I know that the mayor's son was out there at least this past year, to the point where there's holes where kids are tripping. We're having to fill some of the holes up with sand or whatever it is to try to make them playable, and it's become almost unplayable. So we came with sort of a proposal to the manager of what we thought, and not taking a large area, because we know that at some point that whole area may be renovated to a whole different standard. So this is kind of a 3-5 year temporary fix to get things going, to finally have some dedicated soccer fields here in the city limits, which there are none for our kids to use. And in the fall, they had over 600 kids playing. In the spring, they're close to 500 kids, I believe, that are out there still this spring. And they're doing 2 leagues now instead of 1, so the fields are getting used twice as much. This will give the Homestead the ability to bring tournaments here too, like the Hurricane Cup, which is now played down in Isla Mirada every year, is looking for a new home during the month of December, so that would give them an opportunity. AYSO has the regionals every year, and every year our kids always have to travel because we don't have any fields to host anything. So this potentially gives us an opportunity to host other events too, to further our AYSO program or other soccer programs also. So I would just add those comments and appreciate any support that you guys can give tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this is a public hearing open for the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Tab 3, staff report.
In furtherance of the city's downtown revitalization efforts, an application was submitted to the Federal Transit Administration for grant funding in the amount of $7.6 million for the creation of 20 trolley shelters and associated signage, sidewalks, handicap, and pedestrian access improvements for the city trolley program. As part of the application, the FTA requires that a cultural resource assessment survey be conducted in accordance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. This is essentially a review of surrounding historical properties and an assessment of impacts on those properties. Advanced Archaeology, Inc. was initially issued a purchase order in the amount of $15,600 to complete the work. However, after further discussions with the FTA and Advanced Archaeology, it was determined that the scope was to include several more properties than first anticipated. The additional scope will cost an additional $31,200 for a total cost of $46,800. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into agreement with Advanced Archaeology, Inc. to conduct a cultural resources assessment survey as required by the Federal Transit Administration in connection with the city's multimodal transit grant application. And this is unfortunately, when the federal government is giving you money, they have a whole lot of hoops that they ask you to jump through, and this is just another hoop. And we've been going kind of, I don't know, Kate, how many years has this been now? A couple of years, but we're almost at the finish line, so we just need a few more of these hoops to go through, and we should be there.
Perfect. Thank you. Seeing no questions from my colleagues, this is a public hearing open for the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Tab 4, staff report.
Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase one 2019 Ford F-350 from Duval Ford Fleet Sales for a total of $53,290. The project is part of the city's capital improvement plan, CIP number 135. This purchase will be made in accordance with the Florida Sheriff's Association contract, FSA 18 VEH 16.0, specification number 66. Fleet Division roadside service truck is used to respond to emergency calls for service and is critical to citywide fleet operations. The current truck is 18 years old and is past its expected life cycle, requiring increased maintenance in downtown.
Seeing no questions from council, this is a public hearing open for the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 5.
Several city departments through fleet and procurement have determined that the attached list of vehicles and miscellaneous items have outlived their usefulness and are no longer adequate for their intended purpose. Since it is no longer cost-effective to keep these vehicles and items in operation, the city will auction them off as surplus in accordance with the City Code Section 2-440, surplus property. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to surplus the attached list of vehicles and miscellaneous items that will be sold by means of online auction or disposed of by other authorized procedures as per City Code Section 2-440 surplus property.
Councilwoman Bailey.
I was just curious what department all the scuba gear is
I have
from.
the same question.
Do our police have a scuba team or is it sewage?
Councilman Bailey, we have some gear that we've dismembered our dive team because we lost some of the staffing. And it was a little bit too expensive to maintain for the amount of time that we actually utilized those services. So that's why we had sent that back.
Okay. Just curious. Thank you. Mayor.
No, thank you. I had the exact same question when I looked through the list. Seeing no additional questions from council, this is a public hearing. I'll open it to the public. Seeing no public comment, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 6.
Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Garland DBS for the replacement of the roof at the Procurement and Contract Services Building for a total of $299,897. This project is part of the city's capital improvement plan, CIP number 979. Procurement Building is the primary storage location for the majority of the city's inventory, estimated at over $1.9 million. Building's roof is approximately 32 years old and has reached the point of having to be replaced. Staff has determined that it would be in the city's best interest to purchase services from Garland DBS under the U.S. Communities contract. U.S. Communities is a government purchase alliance serving all government agencies and provides nationally leveraged and competitively solicited purchasing contracts.
Seeing no questions from council, this is a public hearing open to the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 7.
Staff recommends mayor and council authorize the city manager to approve an amendment to existing purchase order number 191009 issued to Asplund Tree Expert Company for an additional $114,880 for a total of $250,000. Tree trimming and power line clearing services are required year-round by electric utility to ensure vegetation does not interfere with the city's electrical circuits and infrastructure, which can disrupt power if not properly maintained.
Thank you. And I did ask a question here because I know that I wanted to get an idea how this compared to, say, our last couple years. And so my understanding is the last 2 years, it's been about $215,000 we spent on tree trimming for annually. And so this year, the 250 is a slight increase over the years prior. But I think my understanding was, again, that's based on wanting to be more storm ready in case of any hurricanes or other tropical disturbances. Is that correct?
But it shouldn't be determined as a prediction of things to come, because we have no indication that we're going to have bad weather this season, but we're hoping for the best.
Yes, I agree. All right, thank you. Seeing no other questions from council, this is a public hearing, open to the public. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved. Was there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 8.
The Homestead Police Department applied for and received a grant from the State of Florida Department of Transportation to address the high rate of automobile-related injuries and fatalities due to the lack of occupant protection usage. The $50,000 grant award is for overtime funding, which began on April 15, 2019, and ends on September 30, 2019. No matching funds are required for this grant. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to accept a grant of $50,000 from the State of Florida Department of Transportation to fund law enforcement overtime for traffic enforcement.
Councilwoman Bailey.
I think this is a great initiative. I just had a question regarding the number of fatalities. Are those only ones where people were not wearing their seatbelts? Or that's a total? Injuries and fatalities? That's
Councilman Bailey, those are the statistics gathered by the Department of Transportation, the State
Okay.
Department of Transportation. So
I was just curious if that was only, okay, no, best of luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no additional questions, this is a public hearing. I open it for the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Motion to approve? Moved. Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 9.
The City of Homestead wastewater treatment plant is required by the Environmental Protection Agency to meet standards for the collection and treatment of domestic sewage and wastewater, which is vital to public health and clean water. This bid is for the removal and replacement of rapid infiltration trench number 3, which is used to retain stormwater runoff and promote water quality improvement. Staff recommends Mayor and Council authorize City Manager to award bid number 201918, removal and replacement of rapid infiltration trench number 3 to V Engineering and Consulting Corporation in the amount of $92,400. This project is part of the city's capital improvement plan, CIP 454.
Seeing no questions from council, this is a public hearing. I'll open it to the public. Seeing no questions or comments from the public, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Tab 10.
Staff recommends acceptance of the American Securities Settlement on behalf of the class action suit. Case caption, City of Homestead et al. Versus General Chemical Corporation et al. Civil action number 16 MD 2867 JILL JAD pending in the United States District Court, District of New Jersey.
City Attorney, do you have a update or anything to add?
If you all have any questions, I can answer, but if you don't have any questions, I don't have anything additional to add. This is just a request for settlement. I mean, you've done a couple of these in shade session. Due to timing, we weren't able to bring it in shade session. So this is like the other ones that you've all done. Outside litigation counsel is here if you have any specific questions, but we're asking we're recommending that you all accept the settlement.
Okay. And do you need an official vote and action on this item?
Yeah, this will go forward. If you all recommend moving this forward, it'll go to the next council, it will go to next week's well, 2 weeks, to the 29th.
Okay. So you don't need to
Um,
vote it on tonight, you just need to know that
I just need-
everyone's consenting, everyone's okay.
For you all to.
Right, no objections, right?
Right.
So any objections to going forward with the settlement? All right, do you need anything else? Okay. All right, that's all. Any additional comments or questions from my colleagues from council at all on any item? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.